How to cook veggies. Have you ever been dissatisfied with the flavour of your carrots and other veggies when they are served up in a boiled or steamed state, and you get them on your plate full of expectation, and they just taste sort of wasty, chlorine-y, slightly over crisp and underdone? Well, I'd like to discuss how to get round that problem and to make your carrots taste like the way we think carrots ought to taste. So if we take a carrot, for instance, if you chop it into pieces and steam it, it will come out boiled and miserable, like an old school dinner from the 1970s. Whilst on the one hand we've made tremendous progress since our school dinner boiled to death examples from the 60s and 70s with meat, we don't seem to have made the same progress with cooking our vegetables. We still seem to be in the dark ages of the post-war years in many restaurants and carveries that certainly exist in our region. So to compare with meat, for instance, here we have a roast chicken, courtesy of Aldi, stuffed British whole chicken in the bag. Cook in the bag. All you do, fish that stuff, bung in the oven, jobs are good. Turn it on, and an hour and 50 minutes later it's cooked perfectly, and you have a tray, a roasting tray in it, an aluminium roasting tray, foil tray, which has a nice section of broth which we can use to make soup, and also further explore our vegetables in a soup, a homemade soup. So I'm going to show you how to cook vegetables this time so that they don't become casualties, and main title is How Not to Murder Your Vegetables. So we've got veggies. They generally come in different kind of cooking times. You know, we've got mushrooms, which like onions and peppers here form a sort of trio, which can have a shorter cooking time of maybe 15 or 20 minutes in the frying pan with a bit of oil. And then we have the longer term veggies, which are carrots and potatoes. And now we've got one or two exotic additions. I've got some broccoli here, which is probably best just left steamed because it's got good flavour on its own. So we can just steam our broccoli gently. We don't have to bake it with oil. So here's another more interesting vegetable. This is half a courgette. Now courgettes are not something that we seem to hear very much of up here, but they are a very interesting and flavoursome addition to cooking. And of course we've got some tomatoes, which also have a fairly short cooking time. The main thing I want to do is to show you how to cook your veggies so that they taste nice, basically. So we'll start with some olive oil. I tend to use extra virgin olive oil because it just tastes better. I won't use margarine. There's another killer. Don't use margarine. Use butter if you have to use an alternative to oil. But oil, I think, is by far the best. Put a bit of oil in the pan, maybe a couple of tablespoonfuls, no more, to start with. And then we'll chop up some potatoes. Now these are peeled, so really generally won't make them the final size, so I'll put those in. You could slice them into thinner slices, but we're going to stick with portion sizes so that you will get a nice effect. Now the carrots. Now these you can peel them. In fact, it is best to peel them, and this one I've peeled partly already. the others will need peeling. So generally carrots, I would tend to cut carrots into carrot sized portions. You can also slice them lengthwise, but I think just to keep the traditional shape and expectation of carrot, you do them, slice them this way, crossways. Generally speaking, I put everything in there, and then those can be fried. And what I'll do actually, I'll add the onion, and I'll add the courgette, and the pepper, depending on space. Because the other thing is that you will soon fill up your pan.